and welcome to the guide. I'm Yo, that's Will, and today we're going to do a review of El Shaddai, the Ascension of Metatron.
El Shaddai, El Shaddai.
It's weird, kind of like that was, where in the game you don't really know what's going on, kind of like that.
But it's a visually stunning game, and that's what it was made to be, because it was created by an artist rather than a game designer.
Which gives it a unique flair. You can tell that it was designed by an artist, and that's its strongest element, I think, is the art design. There's times when you're playing through it, it looks like you're in a watercolor painting that's flowing and ebbing and changing and it's really, really stunning to look at.
It reminded me of when I used to play my old Sega game Aladdin. There's a level inside of the genie's lamp that was just like it. Stuff's just kind of floating around everywhere, and you're not sure what's going on. But it's really cool to look at. Very stunning.
However, two key elements to any game, of course, story and gameplay. On the story side of things, I didn't really understand what was going on. I know it was based on the Book of Enoch, not a canonical book of the Bible, obviously, because you've never probably heard of it before. But there's some interesting history about that. That's for another video. Anyway, that was the inspiration for this particular story. However, as the story goes along, I just feel like things were thrown at you randomly. Like, I didn't understand why random things were being said. Aside from the key element of you're trying to return 7 fallen angels back to their prison so they don't reign on Earth.
Yeah, it felt like the creator had a rough idea of what this book was about and tried to create some kind of cinematic game with it, but it doesn't really come together as well as it should be. You'll hear whispers of God or something.
May the Lord bless you. Oh, where did that come from and why? I don't understand what that has to do with anything.
Yeah, right. And then you have somebody to help you guide through the levels who talks on his cell phone to God.
Which is pretty epic, actually. His name's Lucifer, by the way, so I'm not sure if I trust him in the game.
Right,
But yeah, he'll be talking and he'll say random things every now and then, like, okay, whatever you say, after all, you're the Lord. And so they throw those references in there, but I didn't feel like they understood what those references meant. This type of game, kind of like Assassin's Creed, starts off with a little disclaimer that it's based on religious text and everyone who works on the game is very considerate and respectful of all beliefs, so on and so forth. But as I went through it, it's like, okay, I understand that you wanted to treat this subject matter with respect, but I don't think you quite get who you're talking about when you talk about the Lord.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you get into just the actual gameplay of it, it gets pretty repetitive, I think, pretty fast, because you have one button attacks, 2 different weapons throughout the whole game, and you can't hold them both at the same time either, which gets kind of frustrating. And then it's just the same. You have to take down the 7 angels, but it feels like the same level over and over again, just with
different watercolors in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
You do have to use the right weapon against the right enemy, so there's a little bit of strategery there, but there's not a lot of diversity overall. So what would you give El Shaddai Ascension of Metatron, out of 7, 7 being perfect?
Right, I'd have to go with 4, simply because even though the visuals were a 6 or 7 in my book, the overall gameplay really brought it down, because I got bored pretty quick, and that's not really where you want to be at when you get a game. They're supposed to last a while.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It was an ambitious game, and kudos for them to try to do something different, and based on different type of material. But I felt the same way. 4 out of 7. The gameplay did get repetitive. I didn't understand what was going on, because I don't think the narrative was told very well. So that's our review of El Shaddai Ascension of Metatron. And
El Shaddai, El Shaddai, and something.
Who is this guy, and why does he keep doing that?
I don't know.
Well,
anyway,
anyway,
lost.
If you want to read more, you can certainly do so.
Yeah, check us out on GameAndMovieGuide.com. If you want to throw any of your 2 cents in, make sure you check our Facebook. It's facebook.com/GameAndMovieGuide.